tuning in to another episode of Chit Chat in My Car, where we talk about all kinds of various topics: life, business, sports, pop culture, you name it. Whatever's on my brain at the time, that's what we're going to talk about. So today, since it's been a while since I've actually done a video of me actually talking to you guys, I think the title of this video will be The Day That I Decided to Join the Military. Now, this was back in 2000, and due to the circumstances that I was about to have my first child, and you know, me and my wife and her mother was actually retired from the Army. You know, we talked about you know, the benefits and the you know, being able to go to college and just the stability of the military. And so I decided to go ahead and join the military. So I'll share with you a little bit about my experience. I actually got out of the military a little bit early. I'm not really going to go into that detail about the reasons why, but I did get out. And I will say that that a lot of me wishes that I would have at least finished my term, and then some of it I was glad that I was able to come home. But I'll share with you the experiences that I went through. Like, I have a couple of pretty funny stories about what had happened to me. And when I actually joined, I had no military experience. You know, I didn't do, and I can't remember what it's called in high school that they take to actually get you prepared to go join the military. But I didn't do any of that. I mean, my grandfather was in the military, but, you know, he passed away when I was young. So I didn't really have a whole lot of people to actually talk to that could tell me about the military experience. I mean, my mother-in-law at the time, I'm not together with she's my ex-wife now and my ex-mother-in-law, but at the time, she didn't really tell me a whole lot she just pretty much said it would be a good thing, you know, to help with the family and all that stuff. So I didn't really get a lot of insight on the actual military experience. So I went in and I did not know what to expect. Now, also, I went in at the age of 24. A lot of these people, and I had a sit-down desk job, telemarketing job for 5 years. So here, you know, I'm out of shape. I'm not in shape. A matter of fact, when I went in, I had to lose 10 pounds in a week just to be able to go into basic training. And to tell you how I did that, I live in Florida now. I'm from Indiana, but I live in Florida. It was hot as heck that week. And I decided that every day I was going to run with a trash bag just put a trash bag over me and drink Epsom salt for a whole week every single day. And I would advise you, do not do that at home. Don't do that, because it makes things happen. And it helps you lose weight, but you have to go to the restroom like all the time. But I was running, and it was like 100 degrees outside every single day. I was running like crazy. Well, I ended up losing 12 pounds instead of 10. So I was able to get in. But so I didn't know what to expect. My first experience with a military doctor, per se, is when you're going down to the MEP station and they're doing your physical and all that. And like I said, I'm 24. All these young bucks are like 18 and 19, just coming out of high school, about to go in. You know, they're in shape and everything. And here I've had a sit-down job for 5 years, and I wasn't as active. So I get into the MEP station, and they're doing a physical and stuff, and I'm in the office. I'm in this office, and, you know, he's checking my leg out and everything. Next thing I know, I'm standing straight up, and he tells me, anyway, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but next thing I know, he's like checking my prostate. I had no clue. I mean, he just did it so fast, didn't even care, wasn't gentle, just bam, checked it real quick. And I was like, oh. So it was, yeah, I will say military doctors are not gentle. They're in and out. They're just trying to get their job done. They really, as far as your comfort level, it doesn't really mean a whole lot to them. They're just there to get their job done and get you out of there. But yeah, so it started off like that. And then, so I went to Fort Benning, Georgia. I actually signed up to be 31 uniform, which was commo communications. But I went to an infantry basic training in Georgia, Fort Benning. So I had no clue what to expect. None. I mean, I've heard bits and pieces, but until you're there, you don't really know what you're going to experience. So I get there, and I mean, it's me and two other guys that are actually going to Fort Benning. And we get there, and basically we're in between cycles. So, basic training is 9 weeks, and we were in between cycles. I think it was on the 8th week, and then there's one other week before they start the new cycle. I can't exactly remember how it goes, but basically when we got there, we were just, the three of us were just stuck in a bay for a whole week. There really wasn't a whole lot for us to do. We were just waiting for the cycle to complete. The only thing that we really learned about then is guard duty. Yeah, we did have to pull guard duty. Like the first couple of days, all we did was go to sleep and just chill in the bay. But they implemented guard duty. So there's two things we had to do was clean the latrine, the bathroom, and do guard duty. That's pretty much everything else. We just pretty much sat there and just chilled. Wasn't a whole lot of stuff to do. We just sat there for like a week until the last cycle was completed so we could start our cycle. So, you get, like us, it was a week of just chill. So we were like, this military life ain't that bad. But then the day comes when it's actually time for basic. So all I remember is like 2 days before it was that day, that's when they start implementing everything. You get your you get your uniform, you get your BDUs, you get your PT uniform, you get your rucksack, you get everything goes in this duffel bag. Everything, you get all your military issue. You get your shots. Let's not talk about the shots. So basically the way the shots work is, back in 2000, I know things have changed. I've seen some videos and they've changed it up a lot compared to my day. And even, what we went through was nothing compared to what they went through 10 years before that. But anyway, so we're going to get our shots. And basically there are like nurses and doctors on each side of you. There's like 8 of them, I would say, 4 on one side, 4 on the other. And you just walk in a single line. They go, bam, bam, take it out, bam, bam, take it out, bam, bam. It's just real quick, get it done. They don't care about your comfort level. So there's that. Then once you get everything issued, so basically you had one gigantic big duffel bag on the front of you, and then you had one gigantic duffel bag in the back of you, 2 filled all the way to the top. You pretty much can't see. You're like that little kid that's sitting in his booster seat, just barely looking up over the table. Well, you can barely see over your duffel bags. So all these buses pull up. There's probably 5 different buses. Now I'm just telling you my experience back in 2000. I know things have changed, but basically, as soon as those buses arrived, and it was almost simultaneously as the door opened, it went straight from the drill sergeants were all cool and everything, that week we were there. And then as soon as that door opens, it was a total flip of the script. They're screaming and yelling, "Get on the bus, soldier! Get on the bus!" And here, again, these 18, 19-year-old kids, they're just running up on the bus. I'm 24, a little bit out of shape. I'm struggling just to try to get onto the dang bus, and you can't see. And then when you sit down, you're not really sitting down because you don't have time to do anything. They're just screaming and yelling at you. And the whole way there, you can't see where you're going because there's just a bunch of rucksacks, a bunch of duffel bags. You can't see nothing. And it seemed like the trip was forever, but we're going down to where our basic was, to where the actual barracks were at. I remember this from the moment, as soon as we touched down to where we were going, as soon as we got there, the drill sergeants just come on and they're just screaming, yelling, and just calling you all every name in the book and get off the bus. And then I remember I seen the first person when I got off, they tripped and fell. And the next thing I know, these young get right up in his face, spitting all over him, telling him to. So yeah, the video stopped right in the middle of me talking, so I had to restart. So yeah, so I mean, these kids, you know, they're getting screamed and yelled at, tripped and falls, and they're making you do push-ups. Well, me, I made it almost all the way to line up where we fall into formation, and I started getting a little weak, and I dropped my duffel bag. And man, you know, when you see it happening to somebody else, you feel so bad for them and all that stuff. But then when it's happening to you, I mean, I remember I thought I knew how to do a push-up, but not a military push-up. It's completely different. Somebody screaming and yelling in your face. I mean, I didn't do too many of those. Let's just put it that way. I've been out, you know, I wasn't in shape. So I wasn't in shape when I first started, but they got me in shape. So yeah, so yeah, it was a lot of screaming and yelling and basically getting you in formation, and just they're going over protocol and how everything's worked. Then you go into the barracks, and you know, you get accustomed to your bunk on top of another bunk, big bay. I think there was like 30 bunks, so 60 beds total, and you do the nice military shower. Your first military shower is like a 60-second shower. You have time to just wash certain areas. I'll leave it at that. But it was very interesting, I must say. But here's the part, right off the bat, the very first day. She's my ex-wife now, but my wife at the time decided to be funny. I don't know if she did it on purpose or she just forgot. But they go through all of your stuff, and then next thing I know, the drill sergeant's like, "Whose is this?" And he pulls up, and my wife at the time decided to put a loofah in my suitcase. Now here I am, a man going into the military, and I have a little loofah. Ooh. And those of you who don't know what a loofah is, it's one of those that look like little ball things. It has a little band on them, but you wash with them. They're really soft. But anyway, so I got destroyed because of that. I had to do push-ups because it was girly, they said. And so my first day, I got smoked on my very first day. So the second day, they made me squad leader for a day. And so it was so you know, you're marching, and they're the ones that let you give the commands. But in the back, they're teaching you, so they're telling you, you know, column left, march, column right, or column left, column right, or all that, mark time and all that stuff. So I remember the drill sergeant was all the way in the back, but I could barely hear him, but he was like, column left. And so I went and I told them to go column right. And I remember I never did so many push-ups because I took them the wrong way. Needless to say, I wasn't a squad leader any longer. And that's what I'm saying. It's one thing about the military, when you screw up, it's not just you that screws up. It's the whole platoon. Everybody screws up. So everybody gets in trouble because of your mistake. Remember that there was a big fight. So the drill sergeants, they stay with you every single night. And then up to, I think it's about halfway through basic, they start staying at home, and you're there by yourself, and you have like a squad leader that stays with you. Well, there was a huge fight. I mean, the guy, as a matter of fact, it was so bad that one of the dude's jaws got broken. He had to get it wired shut. But anyway, the next day, somebody told on him. We all got in trouble because we're supposed to have each other's back, and I mean, we're just learning as we go. But somebody tattletaled and snitched. We all got in trouble. We had to put a gas mask on, and we had to do over under the bunks for like 3 hours. It was torture. Now I will share this story because I don't want the video to be too long. So one of the stories I will always remember in my military career is the gas chamber. So I don't know if it's the same today. I'm sure it is, but you have to go into the gas chamber at least one time. And I remember it was the week of the gas chamber. And when you first start going in, you're doing a lot of classes. So they're just getting you familiar with the procedures and different Army procedures and what you'll be doing and all that stuff. Well, I remember I was in class and I knew we were going to the gas chamber in 2 days. But I had to go to the restroom really, really bad. So I went to my drill sergeant, and you have to say drill sergeant. Yes, drill sergeant at the beginning, drill sergeant at the end. And if you don't, you have to do push-ups, and they yell at you and all that stuff. So you kind of getting accustomed to how you're supposed to say it. So I'm like, drill sergeant, I need to go to the restroom, drill sergeant. And he was like, soldier, you need to go, private, you need to go sit down. And I'm like, drill sergeant, I need to go to the restroom, drill sergeant. And he was like, you need to go sit down now. And so I stopped saying drill sergeant. I'm like, I'm going to pee on myself. I'm like, I have to go to the restroom. And he goes, okay. And he pulls out, and I'm telling you, it was the smallest little piece of paper. He pulls out this little tiny piece of paper and he writes Private Faust. And he puts it in his pocket. And I was like, drill sergeant, do you mind telling me what that is, drill sergeant? And he was like, yes, you're going to be the first one in the gas chamber when we go to the gas chamber. And I'm like, whatever. In my mind, I'm like, because I have to go to the restroom. But anyway, it was you had to do it their way. So I go to the restroom, I come back. To make a long story short, 2 days go by and it's time to go to the gas chamber. Now we got to march like, I don't know, 7 miles just to get to the gas chamber. So we get there and there's the whole 4 different platoons were there that was going that day. So here we go. They're explaining how the gas chamber works, what you're going to do. You're all going to go in and you're going to try to airtight your mask and do all the checks and everything. Then you're going to say your name, rank, and social security number. Then you're going to go. You're going to go out. So that's what it is. You go in, they light the CS gas. You make sure that you got a good fit, make sure everything's working properly. You take your mask off when it's time. You walk up, you take your mask off, you say your rank, name, social security number, and then you get out of there. That's how it's supposed to go. However, that being said, now look, I didn't think he was going to remember that little tiny piece of paper, but he did. He pulled it out. He was like, Private Faust, and there were like 3 other people that were on there. And he was like, you guys are going to be the first ones in the gas chamber. So sure enough, we go in and we're the first ones in. We're in there. We're already ranked, name, social security number. And then they bring another 10 people in while we're still in there. We're already supposed to be out, but they're making us stay extra. But not only that, this one kid decides, because you're all locked up. All the doors are shut. There's like one window and you're kind of stuck in this box. Well, he starts freaking out, he's yelling for his mom. He's like, I want to leave. And he's just running around. They're trying to catch him. They open the door. He runs out. Well, instead of letting me and this other guy go, we've already been there double the amount of time everybody else. They tell us to wait. So we're like, we can't breathe and all this stuff. Now, let me just tell you, when you take that mask off, it instantly feels like you're getting sliced in the throat with a bunch of samurai swords. You can't swallow. It hurts really bad. The first thing they tell you not to do is rub your eyes. And most people rub their eyes. I did. And as soon as you take it off, and it stings, it burns. It's the worst feeling ever. It really, really hurts. You puke, you throw up, your nose is running, your eyes are, tears are coming out of your eyes and all that stuff. But yeah, so that drill sergeant, remember that little tiny piece of paper that he wrote my name down on 2 days before, and he brought it. And from that day forward, I was like, man, you can never get anything past them. You have to do everything exactly how they want you to do it. There's no deviation from the script whatsoever. So that's my story. I have a couple of more stories that I'll share at a later date, but I didn't want to make the video too long. This is the longest one that I've actually had. So if you are thinking about going into the military, I know it's changed a lot since I went in, but I do miss a lot of it. I will just say, just to be ready to do whatever it is they tell you. Just know that it's a game, though. So that way it doesn't affect you as much. They're going to yell at you. They're going to scream at you. They're just trying to get their point across. They're trying to toughen you up. They're trying to get you to understand order and to pay attention to detail. All right, well, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Chit Chat in My Car. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get the updates on my latest videos. Leave me comments down below. I like to hear from you guys. If you've been in the military and you have any military experiences, I will share another story at a later date. And I got some new things that I'll be talking about coming up shortly. So thank you again. God bless you all, and you have a very good day.